In this video, I'm using Inventor 2026, and I'm going to show you how to add dimensions. So to add dimensions, I'll go to Annotate. And under this ribbon, I can add dimensions. I could add center marks, center lines, symmetry lines. I could add notes, notes with leader lines. I could also put in bend notes as well. Very important for sheet metal parts. That is what I'm going to show you. I'll also show you how to globally change some settings for your dimensions as well. I'm not going to go over how to dimension a part. You're going to have to make those decisions on your own. What this video is intended for is just how to use the tools within Inventor. So, first things first, I'll show you how to use the symbols. So if I want center marks, I'll click the center mark, and then I'll select the holes. So if I select a hole, it will create a crosshair in the middle of the holes. Okay, and then I'll press escape. Okay, so now I'll show you how to do center marks. So let's say I want to do a center mark between these two holes here. So I'll select the center of the hole, and then I'll select the center of this hole. And then I'm done. Okay, and so maybe I want to make these two holes down here center marks or center lines between these holes too. So I'll select this one, and oh, what's happened here? It's actually making a circular profile for these holes, and I don't want that at all. So I'll press escape. I'm going to restart. I'll press the center line. I'll select that hole, and I'll select this hole. And you can see when I drag it to the side, it seems like this function is not done yet, and it's not done yet. So there's one more click you have to make, and that is right in between the holes, anywhere, not on anything that'll turn red, okay? Just somewhere in between, make another right click, and now you're done. I can now select other holes. So click that hole, click this hole, then select anywhere where it doesn't turn a feature red. I'll right click one more time, and that is done. So that's how you make center lines. If you want lines of symmetry, you can select this icon up here, select one line and another line, and it's made a line of symmetry. I know that I have this feature selected because this blue line is, or this icon has a blue outline. If I press escape, that outline disappears, and now my cursor is just a regular cursor again. So let's say I wanted to extend this to make it a little bit more apparent. I'll just click on that green circle at the end of the line and drag it up. Move the title down, the view name down, and drag that out to about the same distance. Now that line of symmetry is a little bit more obvious. Okay, again, I'm not recommending anything here. I'm just showing you how these functions work. I can click on them and then press delete, and they will be deleted if you want to do that. Unfortunately, the center marks get deleted as well when I delete the center lines. So let's just delete everything. I want to try something out here. Let's see how well this software automates this process. So I'll click this icon here, click the view. Let's just see what it does here. I'll press OK. Oh, it does nothing. So I'll have to select that. And maybe I'd have to change some of these features in this box to make it work. I've never really automated those things. I find that drawings need to be quite intentional. So unless you know what this is going to do, I'm not sure I would recommend using it. Okay, moving on to dimensions. So I can select dimension over here, and I can, let's say I wanted to do the extents of my part. The extents are the outside dimensions of the part, the widest and the largest height and the largest width of your part. So watch out, I have rounds on this part. So that means I have to select the two very outside edges, then drag the dimension over. Okay, you can see that the tolerance has been set to 2 decimals and the primary unit is set to 3 decimals places. When you start, it's probably showing just 2 decimal places. Here, I'll make this dimension as well. That's okay. Okay, so to change those dimensions here, you'll go over to Manage, then you'll press Styles Editor. And when that opens up, you can see that I could change it to fractions under Format. I could change it to decimal. I prefer decimal. It really depends on your drawing practices. If most people on the floor are using tape measures that are inches and fractional, you could justify using fractions, but I'll keep it to decimal places. This is where you change your dimensions. Okay, so I have dimensions set to 3. You could set them to 2. Save and close, and now everything is changed to 2. But I actually want to have it set to 3. So I'll click Styles Editor under Manage, then under Default ANSI, I will change this to 3. And I'll also change my tolerance to 3. I'll press Save and Close. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now, if I want to put a tolerance on this, so this is a sheet metal part cut out on a laser. So a lasered part would have plus or minus 5 thou. So I can double click on this dimension, go to text, and I can click this plus minus symbol and put 0.005. Yeah, I can change this one as well. Double click on the dimension next to the dimension value, press this plus minus symbol and put the tolerance in. So plus or minus 0.005, a total tolerance of 10 thou. That is how you put that's how you put dimensions under the annotate ribbon, and you can use you can also place symbols. One last thing I want to show you is the bend notes. So click bend notes, click the bend, and it will show you that the bend. So it's going to do it's showing a down 90 and the radius is 40 thou. So the operators know what sort of bend they're making to make this flat layout a formed part. The other thing that you need to do is put a dimension from the edge to the bend where that exists. So I don't typically put tolerance on those because that would just confuse the operators on what to set the machine to. So I just want them to set it to that specific number, and we'll put the tolerances on the form profile. Okay, one last thing, and this is kind of a pain, but it's happened to me every time I've used this software. It says down 90. Now, if I go to sheet 2, this part has predominantly 90-degree bends in one direction. A sheet metal brake only makes up angles. So you might say, oh, how do you make a down angle? Well, you turn the part over and you bend it down with respect to the other angles. So the only way to do this properly is you could press, just change this to up, but that would be improper. So the proper way to do this would be to press projected, project a view to the side, right click, press create, then create another view that is the up version of this. Right click, press create. Delete this view, right click and delete, or click it and press delete on your keyboard. But don't delete view 6, because then that will delete this side view. So we'll click no there and press OK. But I don't really want this view either. All I was getting at was this top view. So I'll click on that view, press delete. But I don't want to delete view 7. So I'll press no there and press OK. Now I'll make all my dimensions and I'll give the bend, and now it says up 90. So that would be proper. So I recommend putting your bend lines on first, changing your views, and then naming them and giving it dimensions. Otherwise, you end up doing a whole lot of duplicated work. We'll see you in the next video.